Beatles enthusiasts have recently highlighted one of the band's lesser-known songs, calling it epic and suggesting it deserves more recognition as debates continue over which track stands as their greatest. Between 1962 and 1970, the Beatles released a total of 123 songs, including 188 original works and 25 cover versions. While hits like Yesterday, Here Comes the Sun, and I Want to Hold Your Hand are among their most celebrated, many fans continue to cherish some of their more obscure tracks. One such track is The Word, co-written by John Lennon and Paul McCartney, and featured on their 1965 album Rubber Soul. The song is notable as it marked the band's first foray into exploring love, not as romance, but as an abstract concept, something that would later become a recurring motif in their work. One fan, sharing thoughts on Reddit, described The Word as an outstanding piece, praising everything from Lennon's vocal delivery to the instrumentation. They felt the song was way ahead of its time, even without relying heavily on the psychedelic elements the Beatles would later become associated with. The same fan went on to highlight the strength of each band member's contribution: the bass line, the energetic drumming, and the gritty guitar work. They also singled out the organ solo near the end, calling it one of their favorite moments in music. Another commenter supported this view, describing The Word as a transitional piece bridging the band's early pop-driven Beatlemania era and the more experimental Summer of Love period. They compared it to a blend of She Loves You and All You Need Is Love, appreciating how it showcases the group's evolution. A third fan expressed a strong preference for the track, calling it their favorite on Rubber Soul, and singling out Paul McCartney's melodic bass line as particularly memorable. In a different Reddit thread, one user pointed out the song's significance in the Beatles' catalog. They suggested that The Word might be the first Beatles track to present love as a broader idea, rather than in the context of a romantic relationship, especially since no female figure is mentioned in the lyrics. Another fan took this further, proposing that The Word, along with All You Need Is Love and The End, essentially shaped the Beatles' overarching theme of universal or platonic love. They argued that this concept became uniquely tied to the band's identity more than any other musical act. One final contributor acknowledged that The Word has long been underrated and often passed over. They noted that John Lennon had once dismissed the song as unimpressive, though that was a common stance for him regarding his own work. What came as more of a surprise, they said, was Paul McCartney's more recent criticism of the song, claiming it wasn't particularly strong. Still, they argued that The Word laid the groundwork for All You Need Is Love, albeit with a sound more rooted in the classic Beatles style